continuing to fall.
Well, we've already identified a smaller zone for the umpire, and that's, you got to be patient. You got to be able to identify that right away and learn that and use that to your advantage.
3-1. And it's ball 4, so Jones is aboard. We'll see if the Aggies try to test the arm of the freshman catcher Wells. Devin Elam coming up. Conference USA Player of the Week, and she did not play in the final 2 games last weekend. 4 home runs in 4 games to start the year, with 9 knocked in and a .400 average for Elam.
Elam is one of those impact players. She's going to be that way. She was there last year, but this year even more so. And look for her to lead this team. As she goes, so does the whole team.
Elam, a veteran. Preseason All-Conference and Conference USA. 17 career home runs. And she whistles it out to center field. A diving attempt by Barker, and she can't come up with it. Jones racing for third. The throw goes there, and it's late. Into second is Elam.
Hey, I love the aggressive play, Adam, and it was a great job by Jones on the identifying that she might not be able to get there. You're going to notice she goes a little bit more than 3/4 of the way. She identifies it, and then she gets over. But she didn't hesitate. As soon as she got to second base, she was looking down at Coach, and Coach was giving her the green light. And great job by Elam running to second base as well.
That'll be a double for Elam. Good effort in center by Barker. Elam hit it off the end of the bat. And now the Aggies have 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 away. And red hot first baseman Lauren Garcia is the batter.
Yep, she's batting .471. She's seeing the ball good. You just got to be patient here. Tight zone by the umpire. Look for your pitch.
Last year, Garcia, opening weekend, was the Conference USA Player of the Week. This year it was Elam. First pitch upstairs to Garcia. Didn't quite have the opening weekend numbers that she had a year ago, but still pretty darn good. Brian mentioned the average. .471, also a pair of home runs and 8 driven in. Trying to bring in 2 more right here. Garcia shows bunt and does bunt and fouls it away.
I like it, mixing it up, putting pressure on the defense there. Wasn't pretty much a full suicide squeeze. I think she's going to be able to identify, but I like the mix. I mean, they're playing back. If you look at the Sooners outfield, they're playing pretty much in the double location for that, showing a lot of respect for Garcia. So make something happen.
The 1-1 coming to the plate from Kirsten Deal. Elevated again to Garcia. 2-1.
Yeah, it's still in the driver's seat, Adam. You want to look for that pitch, look for that zone, identify, and drive. The base runners are going to have to make sure the ball gets through. You're going to have plenty of time to score, so don't get doubled up.
2-1. Garcia, good rip. Fouls it straight back, and the count goes level.
That was the pitch he wanted right there. But now you still got to be able to pick up the ball. You got to realize that it's a left-handed pitcher. You're always looking towards the right hand, and it's that one little edge these left-handers give because there's not that many of them. I mean, one that comes to mind last year was Yoder, right?
Oh,
she did a great job with
Liberty.
For Liberty, and
2-2 with 2 runners in scoring position, and Garcia down on strikes. A big strikeout for Deal when she really needed one. Her second K.
Yeah, big strikeout on that. She's working the outside zone, keeping it down. More than likely, you're going to get a ground ball if that's hit. But you kind of shorten up a little bit and go. Yeah, just right outside the zone.
So it's 2 outs for the freshman Taylor Baca. 4 for 13 for her in her opening weekend to her career. Baca hits it in the air, pretty deep left center. Angling out is Barker. Got a glove on it, couldn't catch it. 2 runs will score, and it's a 2-run double for the freshman Taylor Baca.
Well, what do you know? Baca gets the pitch she wants. First pitch swinging, going after it. She swings with authority, and she's able to catch Barker in the outfield playing shallow. She gets it over her head. Good job of running the bases and getting to second base, but exactly what the Aggies needed.
Baca last weekend showed pretty good power. Almost had a home run. Missed a home run by a couple of feet. Drives in her 4th and her 5th runs of the season.
Adam, we count that as a double, or what are we doing?
That's a double, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good effort again by Barker, who's been close to catching a pair of balls. First pitch is ball 1 to sophomore shortstop Tamara Carranza.
Yeah, Sydney was playing in, but she was able to get back. I was really impressed with her vert speed. She almost had an amazing catch.
Aggies trying to pull within a run right here. Strike taken by Carranza. .368 average for Carranza, who a year ago was the starting shortstop as a freshman out of Imperial, California. Part of the Conference USA All-Freshman team a year ago. Hit 4 home runs, all in conference play. Has a lot of power. And Deal doing a really good job of moving it around. Inside corner, then the outside corner to move ahead of Carranza 1-2.
Yeah, great command. She's really getting in the groove now. Good pitch. Identified where the umpire's throwing the ball or calling the ball, calling the strike, and going there.
Carranza down on strikes as Deal strikes out the side, but New Mexico State scores a pair. Taylor Baca, the freshman from Arizona, drives in her 4th and her 5th runs of the season, and it's a 4-2 lead for 4th-ranked Oklahoma through 1 from the NM State Softball Complex. Week 2 of the season, this is the Troy Cox Classic. Adam Young alongside Brian Cox. UTEP hosting games as well down the road in El Paso. It's 4-2 Sooners through 1. Oklahoma will send up the top of the order here in the 2nd. Pickering and then McEnroe Marinas, followed by Kendall Wells, the freshman catcher. And Mancha is back to work in the circle for the Aggies. 1 inning for Mancha. She's allowed 4 runs on 3 hits with 2 walks and a K. 24 pitches, 10 for strikes in that first inning for Mancha, who gets ahead of Pickering 0-1.
There we go. Looks like she's settling in, identified the umpire zone, starting ahead. That's key, and it definitely helps when your offensive team comes in and gets up and answers to Oklahoma's 4 with 2. So supporting your pitcher.
This one is a bullet out to center field off the bat of Cassidy Pickering, who's aboard again. She's now 1 for 1 with a single, a walk, and scored a run earlier. She's aboard ahead of McEnroe Marinas, who comes up for the Sooners.
Inside pitch, she's able to turn on it and hit it right back up the middle. That's exactly what you're supposed to do with that pitch. But
pop out to third and foul ground in the first at-bat for McEnroe Marinas today. Sooners coming off a 52-win campaign as McEnroe Marinas fouls off the first pitch. Brian mentioned earlier the 8-time national champs. They've won 6 of the previous 9, including 4 of the previous 5. They won 4 in a row from 2021 through 2024, the only softball program to ever win 4 in a row. 9 straight appearances in the Women's College World Series for OU.
26 conference championships.
An unbelievable resume, and it all starts with their third base coach, who is their head coach, Patty Gasso. This program was not on the map before Patty Gasso took over in 1995. Since then, they're on the map and then some.
Yep, humble beginnings in Long Beach City College, Adam, and, West Coast girl coming over to Oklahoma and getting the job done. Pretty impressive.
Before Patty Gasso took over, Oklahoma softball was 562 and 450. Really barely above 500. The 2-1. Hit to short. Carranza's there. She will take it herself for the force. It goes 6 unassisted. Pickering off the bases. McEnroe Marinas will reach. Since Patty Gasso took over, 1,571 wins, only 362 losses, and they have tied 4 games. She's a Hall of Famer for a reason.
Right.
1,571 career wins at OU for the legend Patty Gasso.
Wearing the heavy coat today in Troy Cox fashion. It looks like it's the weather again. There we go.
Caught by Jones over to first, and back in is McEnroe Marinas. Nice snare by the freshman Jones over at the hot corner.
Doing a great job identifying it. These balls are going to be coming. They call it the hot corner for a reason, Adam, and she's able to snag it and have the wherewithal to throw it to first base to almost get them doubled up.
Loud out for Wells, and now it's the cleanup batter Garcia.
Well, we were talking before the game about there's going to be some balls hard hit, and there's going to be right at people, and you're going to have to make the plays.
Third team All-American last year. Pitch from Mancha to Garcia. And she fouls it back off the netting.
I mentioned the Troy Cox. It seems like it's always bad weather or something along that line, and then as soon as it's over, the sun will come out usually. So, but I mean, the past couple of years we've had good weather, but I think that's usually the case. Is a little bit cold weather come through.
0-1 coming home. Garcia bunts at it towards the circle, picked up by Mancha, rifles it over to first, and the Aggies get out of the inning. Runner left for the Sooners. No runs come in. It's 4-2. Fourth-ranked Oklahoma in front. Middle of 2 from the softball complex. Adam Young, Brian Cox back with you. Home half of the second for the NM State softball complex. It is the Troy Cox Classic. The Aggies will send up Lunar, Clapp, and Redondo, the bottom third in their lineup, against Kirsten Deal, who struck out 3 batters in the first, but gave up a couple of doubles, and the Aggies scored twice to pull within 2 runs.
Yeah, Mancha did a good job of coming up and fielding the bunt and launching a rocket to first base to get the out, helping herself out. So let's see if the Aggies can keep the momentum going on the offense.
Kendall Lunar, 4 for 10, a home run, 3 knocked in so far during her final year collegiately. And she's ahead 2-0. Kendall had a really cool experience last summer and during the fall. She played for the Venezuelan national team. She's had a great Aggie career, a 4-year starter, but getting that international experience during the summer and the fall really helped her.
Family of softball and professional baseball.
2-0 is taken for a strike. Her dad, Fernando, was a big league catcher in the early 2000s. Played 3 years in the major leagues from 2000 through 2002. Played for the Braves and the Orioles. Poked out to right center field, hit well, and this one is gone. Home run for Kendall Lunar. Her 18th career home run, her second of the season, and the Aggies are within 1 against 4th-ranked Oklahoma.
Well, that's how you do it. You get ahead in the count, Adam. You identify the pitch. She picks it up from the hip. It's an outside pitch. She's going to go with it and drive it deep, right in her wheelhouse. Great job, great at bat. That's how it's done. Feel the momentum shifting here.
A little bit.
Yep.
3 unanswered now. Team home run number 12 for the Aggies. Not quite 23 like Oklahoma, but still a pretty high number.
Well, it's a good response, a good fight back, and welcome to the Aggies' backyard.
Clapp hits it off the end of the bat, left field. Pickering is under it and puts away out number 1. We saw a lot of runs scored last weekend. The Aggies had UT Arlington, St. Thomas, Utah Valley, UMass Lowell all in town. They're co-hosting again, essentially, with UTEP. UTEP hosting games in El Paso. OU will go there on Sunday and play a couple. Hitter is Violet Redondo, and she fouls off the first pitch, straight back. Redondo, 4 for 18 to start her season, which is her second year in the program, but her first season on the field after tearing her ACL a year ago and not playing. Took a medical red shirt last year. Redondo was batting leadoff last weekend, so she slides down and bats ninth here today.
Yeah, I always feel that leadoff 9-hitter is one of those that are swappable. You could put them in between, and depends who's hot and who's not. And then sometimes you just see better pitchers as a 9-hole batter that is able to get you out of a slump if needed. But pitchers will challenge the 9-hole hitter, and that's sometimes can be an advantage for the hitter.
Redondo grounds it to short. The sure-handed shortstop Garcia makes the play. She only committed 4 errors last year at short. She played in 61 games. This middle infield is as good as it gets around the country with Garcia at short, and then Agbayani at second, who was a Gold Glove second baseman around the country a year ago.
Look at those mechanics. Moving to the left side, she just does a couple shuttle steps, able to get the ball, the hand, and the glove out. Smooth transition. There you go, kids. That's textbook.
Lineup flips for the leadoff hitter, Faith Aragon, who is the DP in this game. Will likely pitch in Game 2 today when the Aggies will host Montana coming up at 4 p.m. Aragon, the ace of the pitching staff. Probably won't see a lot of time in the outfield, though, this year.
Right.
Last year she played a lot in the outfield, but they're trying to save her body as much as possible because her workload, Brian, in the circle is going to be heavy once conference play begins, especially.
Well, she's definitely the one pitcher with Macha right behind her. I think those two really feed good off of each other, and I mean, pitching and hitting is a big thing, and especially when it gets in the a little bit hotter time of the year, that's going to be key.
Line drive hit out to left, and this time Pickering will play it on a hop. Base hit for Aragon, who is now 1 for 2.
Faith does a good job of bouncing back from that strikeout in the first inning. She identifies the ball outside, throws the bat head out there, and she's able to just drive it right in front of Pickering.
Aragon aboard. Mackenzie Jones, the batter. Jones worked a walk in her first plate appearance against the Sooners in the first inning. Tying run is on for the Aggies here in the home half of 2 with 2 away. Sooners scored 4 times in the first. The Aggies have scored 3 unanswered.
Yeah, even though there's 2 outs, I do believe that the bunt is on the table. You have Devin on deck. She's got double in the last at bat, seeing the ball good. So any way you can, keep building momentum.
This one is poked through the right side of the infield. A base hit for Jones, and up to second goes Faith Aragon.
Mackenzie's seeing the ball great, man. Great job of identifying it again. Once again, inside pitch with the slap hitter. What do you got to do? You're going to turn on it and hit it. And you had Ilana over at second base kind of cheating towards the bag because she's got to be able to cover that for the steal. So great job, great at bat.
So now 2 runners on with Devin Elam coming up, and she has a ton of power, of course. 4 home runs in 4 games last weekend for Elam. And now the Sooners have to be extra careful.
That's right.
And here comes Patty Gasso. Sooners played earlier today, won in a 2-hour game against Montana rather easily, 17-0. I know last weekend we were looking at scores around the country and especially looking at OU scores, and the folks here noticed that Oklahoma defeated Arizona 21-3.
Right.
Now, it was coming off an Arizona win. Arizona beat Oklahoma, and then Oklahoma, not very happy, responded with a 21-3 win the next day.
Well, that's that teachable moment, Adam, where it's going to happen. You want to know how your team's going to respond, and they responded really, really good. And it was at Coach Kendrea's field. You know, the field named after Coach now, right?
Yep. And it looks like we will get a pitching change in the circle. Audrey Lowry, the sophomore from Indiana, will come in to pitch for the Sooners. Aggies with a couple of runners on, trailing by only 1 run against 4th-ranked Oklahoma. You mentioned this pitching staff is deep for the Sooners, and their top pitcher this year has been this pitcher right here, Audrey Lowry. 3-0 with a 0.46 earned run average for Lowry, who's out of Pittsboro, Indiana. A year ago, did not suffer a loss. She was undefeated 6-0. And she brings in strike one as she dots the corner to Devin Elam.
Yep, choosing to keep it on the left side. And like I said, Aggies are going to have to really pick up the ball from the hip now to identify.
Pitch to Elam. She is overpowered. Two runners on with 2 outs. And it's quickly 0-2 on Elam. Lowry, a pitcher who does not walk anybody. 1 walk in 15 1/3 this year. Only 3 walks in 43 innings a year ago.
Yep, great command. She's going to challenge you, and she definitely has the speed, too. As you can tell the difference on that. You can tell Elam's a little bit behind the ball.
Leadoff home run for Lunar. Fly out to left for Clapp. Ground out Redondo, followed by back-to-back singles for Aragon and Jones. Tying run over at second. Go-ahead run is over at first base. Elam grounds it inside of third. That should be a fair ball. They're going to call it a foul ball for now. It looked pretty good from here. It was hit hard.
Yep, hit hard. Umpire in the area that needs to make the call. I don't know if he got there fast enough, but it's hard to get there fast enough. But
that was close.
Let's check and see here. I think it just kind of went just to the left, Rap.
That was close.
I guess at home maybe we get it, maybe we don't.
Yep, that is foul by inches left of the back. That was close. Another 0-2. Elam check swing bouncer back to the circle, and Lowry gets the Sooners out of this mini jam. But Kendall Lunar brings New Mexico State within a single run. Her 18th career home run, and the Alamogordo native makes it 4-3 as we go to the third. Week 2 of the season and day 1 for the Troy Cox Classic. Second game today for the Sooners after defeating Montana 17-zip in run rule fashion earlier today to go to 4-1. Meanwhile, the Aggies have lost 2 in a row going back to last weekend. They were 3-1. Now they're 3-3. They're playing their first of 2 today. Mancha coming off a scoreless second inning in the circle. And she issues ball 1 to number 5 batter, Ella Parker. Parker precedes Emmerling and Agbayani for the 4th-ranked Sooners.
Well, Mancha definitely getting the support from the offense. She just needs to feed off of that momentum and start working ahead in the count and being creative here.
Parker was hit by a pitch in her first plate appearance. She takes off speed, low and away, 2-0.
Yep, I was getting ready to say use the changeup more here. Be able to throw it for a strike and see if they can hit it.
Feels like 2018 all over again. They're lining up the fence just to peek in, just to get a little peek of what's going on. It's a sold-out crowd, and they knew it would be. Wave and a miss by Parker. So there's people, Brian, with their trucks lining up the fence, standing in the bed of the truck trying to see inside the ballpark.
Right.
There's people standing along the fence trying to peek in. 2-1 from Mancha to Parker.
Well, you mentioned everybody standing on their trucks. My phone was blowing up, asking for tickets and all that stuff. And, you know, you had a lot of people. You know, we heard it was a sellout days before this event. So.
Yeah, the interest goes back months.
Right.
Once it was announced Oklahoma was coming here, the interest for tickets was super high.
Yep. And then we have U of A come to town. It's pretty much the same atmosphere as well. Close pitch by Mancha, just about an inch off, I do believe. But, you know, let's see how we respond here. Lead off on, and going to have to get some good defense by the Aggies. Challenge them, keep the ball down, make them hit it in the ground.
Emmerling struck out in her first at-bat. That was 2 innings ago, and she hits a towering foul ball towards the football practice field. This is the third visit for OU since 2016, so they've been here a lot.
Right.
They also came here in 2011 as Zantel Rodriguez starts to warm up in the bullpen. Last visit was 2018. It was a 2-0 Sooner close win. In their second game of the day after losing to Boston earlier that day.
Tight zone again. I think those are right there, Adam. I mean, you can't ask much more than that. Gets to the point where you kind of have to bring it in, but there's going to be times you're going to need that pitch.
Paige Parker threw a gem in that win for the Sooners back in 2018. She had a great Oklahoma career. Hit towards third, out of the reach of Jones. All the way out to Baca. Base hit for Emmerling, and her hot doubleheader continues after 3 home runs against Montana. And now 2 runners on with Agbayani coming up.
Well, Emmerling comes back after the strikeout of the previous inning, and she identifies the changeup. I'm still an advocate of the changeup. I say you hit it once, good for you. I'm going to throw it again and all that. But she's able to keep her hands back. But sometimes you want that changeup to drop right in front of the plate or catch as a low strike because that gets you to kind of lean forward and kind of get your butt out, and the hands kind of get thrown and you pop it up. So, but good job here, and I mean, just in games like this, I always wish we had a larger strike zone. I love the pitching aspect. I love the old school, 1-0 games like you mentioned before, the 2-0 game last time they met. So, but that's part of it. Runners first and second, no outs. Let's see what the Aggies can do.
Pinch runner over at first for the Sooners is Cheney Helton as Paige Bachman, the first-year pitching coach, talks to Jaylene Mancha. Paige has done a really good job with the pitchers so far. She was pitching last year at Liberty.
Yep.
Was a star pitcher for the Lady Flames a year ago, and now she's the pitching coach at New Mexico State in her first year on the staff of interim head coach Bené Higgs, who was also out there talking to the defense during that stretch.
I kind of like the concept of 2 coaches out there talking about everything. And I mean, Paige has been in this tough situation of facing top teams with them winning the conference and winning some games in the tournament. Great get for New Mexico State.
Agbayani likely bunting here. She shows bunt, takes back and pulls, and takes the pitch low.
That's a tough situation. You want Lunar to stay back there as soon as possible, but she's so active at trying to field that bunt. Sometimes you could pop up and block the umpire's view.
2 runners on for Agbayani. The 1-0 delivery for Mancha. Agbayani bunts it foul. It spins behind Kendall Lunar, the catcher.
There we go, and don't forget that it's wet out there, Adam. You're going to have to be able to catch, field the ball and get a good grip on it and throw it. So pressure's on the defense, but more than likely, it's coming. So I know Coach Gasso really loves the fundamentals of the game, and she's going to move the runner over.
Yeah. Trying to move over Parker and Helton. Agbayani, the batter, the daughter of former big leaguer Benny Agbayani, even wears her dad's number 50. And she bunts it off her foot. Her dad played for the Mets, the Rockies, the Red Sox, 400 Major League games across 5 seasons. Kind of made his mark in New York with the Mets. Ilana Agbayani started her career at BYU. She is from Hawaii, an outstanding defender who's also been really good at the plate during her career as well.
Yeah, the Sooners have about 3 players from Hawaii, so, really good softball played on the island.
Agbayani shoots it out to center field, a base hit. They're going to wave in Parker. The throw home scoots all the way to Lunar. RBI single for Ailana Agbayani. 5-3 Sooners here in the third inning.
Well, hitting it up the middle, and when you get 2 strikes on you, you can't get the butt down. This is exactly what's expected to do, is hit it up the middle. Fortunately for the Aggies, it's just one of those hits. There's nothing you can do.
Back-to-back singles now for the Sooners. All 3 batters have reached here in the away half of the third. Lexi McDaniel, the number 8 batter. Off speed, in there for a strike. Delayed call there from Garfield Thompson, our plate umpire. Very deliberate.
I was wondering if that was going to be called or not, but he's doing a good job of recognizing where the ball's at on that. Good changeup, though. I like the zone of it. Maybe a little bit lower, but good job for mixing it up for Mancha.
McDaniel hits it in the air, short to left. Racing in Baca. Out is Carranza. And Carranza makes the catch, peeling away from Baca. Communication probably could have been a little bit better, but Carranza makes a really nice play on the outfield grass.
Well, I love the way both of them went after it. I mean, this is a tough call, Adam. Sometimes as the left fielder, you really want to call off, but it looks like it looks like Baca wasn't that quite sure she can get to it, so it's a boom play. That's going to happen. But give it up for Carranza for making sure they get the out. That first out is key.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much Carranza was talking to Baca, but she did put her right hand out, calling off Baca.
Right.
Now, did Baca see that? I'm not sure.
Well, I think that's probably why she kind of slid a little bit. Is she kind of recognized that, and she was already there, and that's the best way to stop yourself.
Kai Miner will pinch hit for Sydney Barker for the 4th-ranked Sooners. Barker hit into a fielder's choice in her first at-bat. Miner started earlier today for OU. And she takes inside. Freshman from Irvine, California, went 4 for 5 with a home run in that 21-3 win at Arizona last weekend. Arizona top 20 around the country entering the season. It was an emphatic, shocking final score. Hit out to right center field. This should score a pair. Miner is going to pull up to second. It's a 2-run double, and it's 7-3 OU.
Wow, athlete power right there. You could tell she's an amazing hitter, how pure it looked. That was so smooth and effortlessly, Adam. Absolutely amazing. Ball's a little high, but she's able to throw the hands and get the top hand over. Get that out. Wow. We saw what she did the game before, and it's pretty much the same thing with that.
This lineup is so dangerous. I mean, you go to the bench and you bring in Miner.
Right.
There are players on the bench right now for the Sooners that would start at programs all over the country. Makes Patty Gasso's job difficult trying to figure out which 9 you're going to go with each and every game.
Right. But you're able to go to the bench when you need a hit, and you have a batter like Miner come up. I mean, wow.
Aggies will go to their bullpen. Mancha's done, and the Aggies will bring in Zantel Rodriguez. Sooners lead by 4 in the third. New pitcher for the Aggies is local product, Centennial High School grad Santel Rodriguez, who appears for the 4th time this year. 10 1/3 for Rodriguez. She has walked 3, she has struck out 4, and she takes over for fellow local products, Jaylene Mancha. And Rodriguez will square off with Cassidy Pickering, the Sooners' leadoff batter.
Pretty much you have New Mexico State has a lot of New Mexico pitchers. Virtually all of them except 2.
Local talent in high school softball is really, really good year in, year out, so the Aggies taking full advantage.
Yeah, Rodriguez out of the Centennial High School here, multiple state champions under her belt. And there was times she would pitch 5 games in one day at the state championship level. One year they ended up getting in the losers bracket in the first game, Adam, and they had to come back and do it the hard way.
Miner scorched a 2-run double out to right center. She's over at second. Sooners now lead by 4 runs after the Aggies pulled within a single run. Coming in last weekend was an issue at times for Rodriguez. She only walked 3, but she fell behind a lot of hitters.
Yeah, it's
going to be bad counts.
It's going to be key for her to get ahead of this count. Very good, disciplined people.
Pickering taken all the way, and she takes high for ball 4. 4-pitch walk, 2 runners on, only 1 out here in the 3rd. And the Sooners trying to extend their 4-run lead.
You know, it gets to the point when you're a pitcher, you know, they're going to hit the ball. Don't be afraid of it. You're going to have to go after it. You're going to have to rely on your defense as well. And luck comes into it.
McEnroe Marina, 0 for 2 in the game. First pitch strike from Rodriguez. By the way, Pickering, who just walked, has now been aboard all 3 times in the game. Right. A couple of walks and a base hit. Sooners out hitting the Aggies 7-5 in the game. Neither team has committed an error so far. Both teams have left 3 runners on.
This would be a good time for a good double play ball. You want to keep the ball low, get it to your infield.
1-1. Rodriguez to McEnroe Marinas. Here it comes. Good pitch on the inner 3rd. At the knees for a strike. 1-2.
Work in the inside corner. Great call there. Keep it there if you can, kid.
Hitting room in left center for McEnroe Marinas as Redondo plays towards right center. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sooners will get a chance to rest at the hotel after this one is done, and they're back at it early again tomorrow. 9 a.m. start against Minnesota, and then they will play Idaho State at noon tomorrow before the Aggies play twice. 2-2. Good eye from McEnroe Marinas. Count goes full.
Yep, just a little bit high on the zone now. Now you're going to have to come back and not catch too much of the plate, but I feel you're going to have to pitch a strike here with the disciplined batters from Oklahoma.
A lot of speed on the bases right now for the Sooners. Miner at second, Pickering at first. Here comes the payoff. And it barely misses low and in.
That's a good miss. I'll give it to her on that one. But bases loaded, now you're really going to have to get ahead of the count and go after it.
Sooners can break it wide open right here.
Yep.
Kendall Wells has a lot of pop. Singled and scored in the first. Lined out hard to third in the second. Hit a home run in her first collegiate game against Arizona State last weekend. Had 2 home runs during the course of last weekend. Also homered earlier today in the 17-0 win against Montana. So 3 home runs right now for Wells.
Yeah, Wells has extremely great bat control and bat speed. She's really able to identify the ball and react.
It's the same spot as the ball 4 pitch earlier, and Rodriguez just can't get the call. So it's 2-0. She's not missing by much. She's trying to nibble as much as she can, and the plate umpire, Garfield Thompson, won't allow it. Now, you know if you catch any part of the plate, it's going to be over the fence with Wells. I mean, she is that good. Freshman out of Bogart, Georgia.
Well, I mean, you got to really look at where she's on the plate, Adam. If she's off, if she's away. I mean, this is where scouting comes into. It's really early in the season, but you go back and look film from the previous year, and you really got to rely on the experience of Lunar. She knows it all right now, and I think Zantel has to trust her.
Upstairs to Wells, 3-0.
She has the green light, you think?
I think so. I'd give it to her if I
Right,
was Patty
right.
Gasso.
Look forward and go.
She has 1,571 career wins. I have 0, but I would still give her the green light. Let's see. 3-0 from Rodriguez. Wells was taken as she takes strike one.
Well, discipline all the way. Work the count. If you got it once, you're going to get it again, more than likely. She's going to have to come back and get it.
Minor, Pickering, McEnroe, Marinas running third to first for the Sooners.
There we go.
Good late life on that pitch from Rodriguez. It tailed outside of the zone, and Wells offered at it. Count goes full.
What that kind of tells me is that's not the pitch Wells was looking for on the 3-1, and she probably could have let that go, but she was going after it.
The payoff, and Wells takes it downstairs. Good plate discipline by Wells, and Rodriguez walks in a run. Minor will score 8-3 Sooners.
Well, 3 walks in a row just outside the zone. It looked a little bit low on that. That's a close pitch. That's a hard miss, but you know what? You got 1 out. You got to shake it off. Look for that double play ball. You got to find a way to get an out. Kill this inning.
Gabby Garcia rifles it out to center field. This will get by Redondo to the fence. This should clear them. And it will. 3-run double for Garcia, who's knocked in a half dozen for the game.
Well, it's interesting at bat here as you see that, you know, there's been 3 walks immediately, you know, right before that. And then you have, you know, Garcia comes up and swinging on the first pitch. So looking for the pattern of her trying to start early, and she goes after it. But hard hit ball right up the middle, right past the 3-hole, or I mean 4-hole.
That'll be all for Zantel Rodriguez. Aggies now will bring in the freshman from Pomona, California, Kalina Lemos. Sooners have scored 7 times in the third. 11-3 OU. We'll talk to you about Lemos when we come back. Adam Young, Brian Cox back with you. True freshman Kalina Lemos will take over inside the circle for NM State, replaces Zantel Rodriguez. Third different Aggie pitcher here in the third after Jaylene Mancha, the starter, started this inning, but of course did not finish, and the Aggies have had to go to a number of different arms here in this inning. Not a lot of work so far for Lemos, only 1 2/3 last weekend. And she almost hits Ella Parker, who was hit by a pitch from Mancha back in the first inning. Parker gets out of the way, 1-0. Big frame for the Sooners. Inside 2-0. Gabby Garcia moments ago drove in 3 runs with a double. She's now 2 for 3 with a home run, a double, and 6 knocked in. Showing why she is one of the very best players around the country. Strike taken, 2-1.
Bouncing back, getting the strike. Aggies need to find a way to get an out, get it to 2. If you get somebody doubled up, that's even better, but it's very important that we have a good defensive play for the Aggies.
This is the second time in this inning that Parker's hit. She started this inning with a walk, so the Sooners bat around here in the 3rd. No official at bat in the game for Parker. Hit by pitch and a walk, 2 runs scored. And she walks again. Really good patience, Brian. I know when you're up this many runs, 11-3, you can kind of get out of your typical rhythm. And the Sooners, they're such a good team and such a good program, they don't allow it.
No,
they stick to what they do.
Right. And I think that's spoken before the game, and it's like, hey, we need to do what we need to do. You can probably hit that ball outside the zone, but you cannot do that. You have to be disciplined, and you're swinging at strikes only.
Emmerling re-enters for Helton, who ran for her earlier in this inning. Helton scored a run. And Emmerling looks at a pitch on the inside half for a called strike, 1-1.
Yeah, runners at first and second. Good ground ball would get a good double play here. So Aggies are looking for something luck to go their way.
Tapper foul towards the Aggie dugout. Sooners trying to go to 5-1. They won 52 games a year ago, picked second this year in the SEC behind Texas, the defending national champion. Starting their quest now to grab their 9th national title. All 8 have been under Patty Gasso. 4 titles in the previous 5 years for this OU softball program. Hit towards short in the hole. Carranza goes the easy way. Her momentum was taking her towards 3rd. And Carranza goes the easy way to 3rd. The umpire initially said safe.
What?
Garcia was out. I think that was pretty clear.
Yeah.
And now the umpire says, my bad.
Yeah, my bad. Good
he
job.
He called Garcia safe initially. Garcia ran away. The Aggies noticed it, so they threw it back to 3rd. There was no question whether or not Jones was on the base.
I don't know if he was going to. I don't know.
I think it was just a mental error by the umpire.
Yep.
Because then he set out before the throw even came back to 3rd.
Right, but great play by Carranza. She's going to her right side, carried the momentum like you mentioned earlier, Adam. That's the only play you got right at 3rd base. So still got to get it. So 2 outs.
Abby Dayton will pinch run over at 2nd base. She replaces Parker over there. Emmerling reaches on the fielder's choice. And that was a really nice play by Carranza.
I think this year could be the breakout year for Carranza. She showed really good defensive play last year in the role that she was at shortstop, and I look for her to carry that more so this year. A little bit of a rough start weekend before, but look for her to be a superstar by the midseason.
Agbayani shoots it out to center field for the base hit. Dayton will tap 3rd and score. First to 3rd goes Emmerling on the RBI single, the 2nd RBI single in the game for Ilana Agbayani, and it's 12-3 OU.
Yeah, 3rd time she's on the bag now, and she's able just to recognize the ball and drive it up the middle. That's one thing I'm noticing is Oklahoma hits the ball up the middle, Adam, and that's I mean, that is absolutely where you want to hit it, and they're doing a great job of getting it up the middle all the time.
Pitch hitter now for the Sooners as Alyssa Parker, a 2-way player, will pinch hit here for Lexi McDaniel. From Pocola in Oklahoma, 2-way player, the 2024 Oklahoma Gatorade Player of the Year. And she takes strike 1 from Lemos.
Yeah, listed as a right-handed pitcher, utility, does it all.
The 0-1 to Alyssa Parker. Same spot on the inner half, and Lemos quickly ahead 0-2. This freshman is not afraid. Lemos is who we're talking about. Not afraid to go after hitters.
And that's what you're going to have to do here is you cannot back down. You have to be aggressive. You have to trust your defense. You had a great play by Carranza. That helps, so let's do it again.
Purpose pitch to Parker.
You know, interesting situation, first and third. Let's see what Gasso does. Does she kind of lay back and let the freshman hit here? Or, you know, a lot of options, but let's see what they're going to do.
1-2 coming home. Tapped off the leg, a foul ball off the bat of Parker. Right now, OU in run rule territory. The run rule is 8 runs after 5 innings. Aggies, of course, the home squad in this game. They're going to send up Garcia, Baca, Carranza, 4, 5, 6 in the home half of the third. An 8-run, top of the third for OU. Pitch to Parker. Outside for a ball. Lemos trying to see how far she could go, trying to extend it as much as possible.
Yeah, testing it out there. You're ahead in the count. That one's allowable, but good pitch there. Come back and throw one of your best pitches right now.
2-2 from Lemos. Skips it home to Parker. Scoots by Lunar. Runner Agbayani will advance from first to second. The runner at third, Emmerling, will stay put in the wild pitch. And now 2 in scoring position for the Sooners. So the count was 0-2, and now 3 straight balls to Parker.
You want to go after this one because you have Kai Miner on deck, and her swing is pure and everything. Get the out here.
Check swing flare to first, and Garcia makes a diving catch in fair territory. Lemos fooled her. Sooners strand a pair in scoring position, but they score 8 runs on 5 hits to break it wide open, and they're showing why they are the 4th-ranked team around the country. Sooners 12, Aggies 3, middle up 3. Thirty-second-year Oklahoma head coach Patty Gasso and the Sooners score 8 times in the third. They now lead 12-3 as we go to the home half of the third. Aggies will send up Lauren Garcia, Taylor Baca, Tamara Carranza, and Audrey Lowry back to work for the Sooners in the circle. She came in relief when things got a little dicey. During the second inning, the Aggies pulled within a run. They had a couple of runners on, and Lowry came in and got the bounce out back to her off the bat of Elam. Elam missed a double down the line, which would have given the Aggies a lead by inches during that at-bat. And now Oklahoma has turned things around. They lead 12-3. Garcia pokes it inside of first, down the right field line. That's a fair ball for Garcia. And she can slide into second with a leadoff double.
Outstanding at bat. She identifies the ball on the outside part of the zone, and she throws the hands, and she's able to get it past Emmerling at first base. But good job there. The ball's in front of you, too. You see where it's playing. She's being aggressive, and she's already turning the bag. Great at bat, great lead off, and momentum, Adam, momentum.
Yeah. Taylor Baca had a 2-run double earlier to bring the Aggies within a pair. She steps up. Baca, a true freshman, playing every day early on this year. Out of Sarita, Arizona. Tough matchup here for her, lefty-lefty against one of the better left-handers around the country.
Right. You know, I'm really impressed with the Aggie offense right now. They've able to score a run against Oklahoma in 2 innings so far. They're knocking at the door for the third, so that's a good takeaway right now.
Popped up off the end of the bat to third, and a scrambling catch is made by McEnroe Marinas over at third and foul ground. Puts away out number 1.
Yeah, McEnroe Marinas is able to do a good job. Ball's right in front of her. Pretty much an easy catch right there, right at the fence.
Couple of outfield changes for the Sooners. Now in left is Tia Malloy, sophomore from Washington. And now in right field is Dayton, who came in earlier to run. And Abby Dayton stays in and plays in right field after running for the right fielder Parker during that big third inning for the Sooners. And the Aggies will also have a pinch runner as JoJo Hare comes in to run for Garcia over at second base.
Yeah, looking to score runs, looking to win victories where you can to help your team. But looking to scratch one off for the Aggies.
Carranza 0 for 1. Pitch from Lowry. And that hits Carranza on her back, and that'll sting.
Yeah, that ball ended up sticking there for about a second or two. Yep.
It's a little cool anyway. It's a little
Right.
chilly today. It says 66, but I don't think it feels like 66 because of the rain.
Caught her with her elbow, too. Wow.
Carranza's tough. She grew up with
she's
what,
tough.
4 or
Yeah.
5 brothers?
Yep, she did. Wear it with the badge of pride. And she said, hey, I'm on base. That helps my percentage.
Well, her older brother, Tristan, played baseball at New Mexico State, one of the best Aggies of all time, second on the all-time home run list. Lunar hits it deep to left field. Speaking of home runs, that one is long gone. Second home run of the game for Kendall Lunar.
Wow, being aggressive, going after it. I love it. You hit a home run earlier before, kid. And this is a no-doubter, Adam. I just love it right there. Swinging the bat, great. Go after it. Feel the momentum. But the Aggies are answering back every inning. That's what I'm impressed with. Against great pitching. That's the key, Adam, against great pitching.
Multi-home run game for Lunar. Homered in the second. Homer is now in the third. And the Aggies within 6 here in the home half of the third. Bella Clapp, the batter. I was about to talk about Tristan Carranza, Tamara's older brother, and he was one of the best in program history, not just hitting home runs, but also at getting hit by pitches. Never seemed to phase him, and it doesn't phase Tamara either. 1-1 on Clapp.
You think he was laughing at home?
Probably.
Yeah, it runs in the family.
Yeah. They get hit by pitches, and they hit a lot of home runs, too. Carranza was hit by a pitch, and then Lunar fouled with a home run. Off the end of the bat foul towards the on deck circle, and Redondo will scream out of the way.
Well, you definitely have to be alert in fast pitch softball in the dugout, either side. You got to figure out which batter's on the left or right-hand side because it could be coming quick.
Lowry delivers, and Clapp is down on strikes. 2 gone here in the third. I know it's a small sample size, Brian. This is only game 7, but I think Aggie fans can feel confident they're going to score a lot of runs this year.
Well, I think they are. They're going to continue that fashion and Aggie way of always answering back. And I mean, how many games did the Aggies win at the bottom of the 7th, you know, the 6th, and they're doing a great job of fighting. And that's what I like about this team right now. They are answering back to a powerhouse team.
They did that last weekend. They trailed 6-4 in the final inning against Utah Valley. Rally to score 3 runs to win it on a Kendall Lunar RBI hit to win the game on a walk-off. Redondo checked her swing, and it's a strike called anyway, so it's 1-1 on Violet Redondo.
Yep. As a slap hitter, you have a little bit better bat control. You want to be able to see that. You don't have to hit it hard, but you definitely have to make up your mind.
Cut and a miss by Redondo, 1-2.
Yeah, she's really driving the ball down at the field. I would kind of get more of a level plane on this and try to scoot it past the infield because they're coming in pretty hard now.
Lowry's 1-2. Redondo down on strikes. It was low and away, and she went after it. 2 strikeouts in the frame for Lowry, but Kendall Lunar homers again. Homered in the second, and now a 3-run shot here in the third. Multi-home run game for Lunar, and the Aggies pull within 6. Sold-out crowd despite the weather here from the NM State softball complex. It was a long, long line to get in for this game here today. It was a huge crowd earlier when OU played Montana. They had to clear out the ballpark for folks to re-enter for this game, and the line was heading towards the baseball facility as well. And not a whole lot of spots available. Hard to find one as Kai Miner sprays the first pitch foul off to the left, strike 1, as she faces Lemos, the freshman.
We were talking off air, Adam, that Miner reminds me of Natasha Watley, right? And everything that she did for the USA team, and pure specimen of a player. Her swing is so smooth and nice. Very impressive.
Ripped a 2-run double out to center field earlier after she came in for Sydney Barker. Miner did not start this game, but came in for Barker during that 8-run third. 1-1 from Lemos to the plate. Hit hard to second. Clapp will snatch it and throw out the speedy Miner. Nice play by Clapp. Made it look easy.
Made it look easy. Ball hit hard. Sometimes those are the easiest ones to field, but good job of staying down, keeping the glove down, and getting the first out. That's great for your pitching.
So far, so good for the Aggie defense. After 16 errors last weekend, none so far today.
Yep, great turn by Clapp on that to get the ball exactly right where she wanted. See if the Aggies can keep the momentum.
Leadoff spot in the lineup. Tia Malloy's first at-bat today. This was Pickering's spot. Pickering 2 walks and a single, and now Malloy, her first at-bat here in the leadoff spot.
And Pickering was perfect, 2 walks and a hit, so get Malloy in and see what you can do.
Dribble to third, charging Jones, and grabbed by Garcia for out number 2. It's been fun to watch the freshman Lemos so far in the circle because you can tell she is not fazed by the moment or the opponent here.
She's just keeping it, she's throwing strikes, but she's keeping it outside the zone, and you got to give it to McKenzie at third base for, getting up there on the check swing, following all the way through, running towards first base, and carrying the momentum and getting the out. So 2 outs.
McEnroe Marinas 0 for 2 in the game. Popped out to third, a fielder's choice, a walk and a run. Aggies looking for their first 1-2-3. In fact, this would be the first 1-2-3 for either side in the game. Hit foul, left of third, 1-1. Jaylene Mancha started the game in the circle. She went 2 1/3. Rodriguez came in, did not record an out. Lemos has gone 1 1/3. She's only allowed 1 hit and 1 run. She's walked 1, no strikeouts.
I'm impressed with, like you said, with Colino right now. She's doing a good job. She's not afraid. First at bat, the first batter, it was a little shaky, but she's coming to her own, and I would think that'd be kind of natural coming into this game. But great command right now.
1-1 is golfed towards the right field corner. This will slice out of play.
Good location on that changeup, just low enough. Took a little bit of time to react to that, but that's where you want the changeup.
We just saw a brief look at the Aggie bullpen. Destiny Perez, a freshman from nearby Centennial High School here in town. She is warming up right now in the bullpen. It's a 6-run game. Aggies got 3 of those runs back in the home half of the third. Lemos looking for a 1-2-3. It's a good place to miss right there, right, Brian?
Good place to miss, inside. Not going to do anything with that pitch. But in my opinion, you got to come back and throw your best pitch right here.
She rocks and fires the 2-2. Hit high in the air, out of play, over the light tower, home run distance, but way foul again. So McEnroe Marinas has gone over the fence to right field, out of play, and foul ground, and now towards the football practice field, out of play in the left field side. Trying to straighten this out.
Right. I'd keep coming with the inside pitch, keep it there, and see if, because I think she's going to just keep turning on it, but we'll see.
Blew it by her.
What do I know, right? Outside pitch, strikeout. Great job.
1-2-3 for the freshman from Pomona, California, who has really thrown well. Aggie bats back to work. Middle of 4, it's 12-6, Oklahoma. Adam Young, Brian Cox on hand here at the Troy Cox Classic. 9 games here at the softball complex for a second straight weekend. The Aggies play 6 times. OU plays 4 times. Montana, Minnesota, and Idaho State also here this weekend. Montana played earlier against OU and lost 17-0. The Aggies will have the Grizz coming up at 4 o'clock. Idaho State and Minnesota hanging around El Paso today, playing over at the Helen of Troy softball complex against Utah. They're over here starting tomorrow. Minnesota has the 9 a.m. game against OU. And Idaho State plays their first game here at noon tomorrow against OU. Top of the order for the Aggies in the 4th. Faith Aragon, Mackenzie Jones, Devin Elam, and Brian. The Aggies have scored in every single frame so far. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third.
Well, that's one of the big takeaways right now. They're able to answer to good pitching, answer against a good team. But what I'm also impressed with, Adam, is that there is 0 errors right now for actually both teams, but especially for the Aggies. Great job.
Lowry in relief for OU. Pulled foul, stays at 0-2 on Aragon. Deal, the starter, went 1 2/3, allowed 3 runs, all earned, on 5 hits with a walk and 3 strikeouts. And Lowry in relief, 1 1/3, 2 hits allowed, 3 runs allowed, no walks, 2 strikeouts. She entered the game with an earned run average, I know it's early, of 0.46, and then she gave up the 3-run home run to Lunar in the 3rd. Aragon hits a screaming liner to third, and McEnroe Marinas makes a diving catch.
That's what you want to do as the left-hander. You want to try to hit it between that 5-6 hole, but McEnroe Marinas is able to get it. Outstanding play. It's going to go to her glove side, so she's able to take a stab at it. And, wow, great focus, great job. But, you know, you got to give it to Aragon, too. She put it in play hard.
Sooners make the easy play and the hard play.
Yep.
They make the routine one, but they also make the hard one. They've only committed 2 errors in 6 games this year, including this one.
Another high point here is Jones, I feel, Adam. She's done a great job in the 2-hole. She's gotten on base twice with a walk and a hit. She brings some speed to the table. She's 4 for 4 for steals. So look for this to continue and look for her to be a bright spot throughout the whole season.
Swing and a miss again by Jones, 0-2.
Kind of need to hang in the box a little bit more, let the ball come to you. That was a changeup. It kind of threw her off, but you just got to focus with an 0-2 count. Don't let anything get past you. Put it into play.
Lowry working quick, and she gets a strikeout of Mackenzie Jones on 3 pitches.
Yeah, Lowry's doing a great job. That's how you pitch a slap hitter to the tee on that. And she's, you know, sometimes with that changeup, that off-speed pitch, it kind of gets you that extra step or you're further out, but no, she's doing a great job.
3rd strikeout for Lowry in relief, and now it's number 3 batter, Devin Elam. 1 for 2 with a double in the game. Elam hits a flare down the right field line, and this will twist into the corner and foul ground. You go back to Elam's at-bat during the 2nd, Brian, and man, she missed what would have been a 2-run double by inches down the left field line. Eventually bounced out to the pitcher, Lowry. But had a really good battle with Lowry, and if it's a fair ball, it's a 2-run double, and the Aggies would have taken their first lead of the game at that point.
Yeah, they would have scratched off a couple of more. Who knows what the score would be then, but no, great at bat. She's able to turn on the ball quick. That's what you want is fast hands, especially against a pitcher like Lowry.
Lowry's 0-1. Elam takes it low, 1-1. Devin Elam out of Long Beach. Pretty good spot for Lowry. That's a hard one to take. 2-1.
But now if you're Elam, you're able to choke down that zone. Look for that pitch. You don't have to swing at anything bad. Elam really going after that one. Might have pulled her head out of it, trying to really get a hold of it. But great swing. Now you're going to have to really focus on the ball. Anything close, you're going to have to go after. And you might have to actually adjust your swing a little bit.
Hits it down the left field line. This is a fair ball inside the line. Overrun by Malloy, and it rolls to the fence. Elam zooming for third, and Elam is in there to head first dive. That'll be a triple for Elam. Malloy never touched it. She just kind of overran it.
Yep, and it's a great battle at bat. She's able to work the count, but she's going to take that outside pitch, that low outside pitch, Adam. It's extremely hard to do and to pull that, but great job of rounding the bases, seeing the ball in front of you, seeing that that she did overrun it, and she's able to get there. Great job, no hesitation. That's what you need in a base runner to get extra bases.
That is the first career triple for Devin Elam in her 116th career game.
No way. You would have, well, I guess either it's a home run or a single or double.
Very
usually,
much
right?
so, yeah. And Devin threw her shield guard as she was trying to slide it third, threw it towards the dugout. She did a lot right there. Garcia trying to bring her in. Slashes it foul down the right field line.
Yeah, this should speak volumes again if the Aggies can scratch one across the plate and keep the momentum going of scoring every inning. That's something special.
Lowry trying to put away Garcia. Purpose pitch, doesn't chase. Garcia, redshirt junior from nearby El Paso, went to Montwood High School, started her career at UNM. Second year in the Aggie program, swatted 7 home runs a year ago, 2 this year. And Garcia stays alive. .364 a year ago. You go back to her high school days, 72 career home runs at Montwood High in El Paso. Hit .729 as a high school senior. She's been a great hitter her entire life. Lowry coming to her. And Garcia stares at the pitch away. Count goes even at 2-2.
Yep, looking to keep that power going. You know, as a competitor, this is the type of pitcher you want to face. You want to face the best, and let's see how it pans out.
Just got a piece. Stays alive at 2-2. This has been a really nice game for the Aggie offense. They've been battling against talented arm after talented arm for Oklahoma. 6 runs, 8 hits, a couple of home runs for Lunar. Elam has a double and now a triple. She's over at third with 2 outs in the 4th. Lowry to Garcia. Gets to the backstop, and Elam wisely stays put at third.
I don't know if she was going anyway, Adam, but that was the correct decision. She looked up right away. She's not getting much of a lead over at third base. So she knows that the ball needs to get through the infield to score, so she's not being too aggressive over there, understandably so. They kind of worked out in her favor then. And it looks like she's still kind of gassed from running 3, right?
Yeah. It took a friendly Oklahoma bounce, too. Hit a pole and bounce right back to the catcher Wells. Elam is usually pretty aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Alejandro Velasco coaches over at third. Garcia battling with Lowry. The payoff. Low and away. Lauren Garcia draws a walk, and the Aggies have runners on the edges with 2 away.
Great at bat, very disciplined with the count full. Just recognize that the ball's low, let it go to ball 4, and runners at first and third. One of the, I guess, situations that defense dread and the offense loves. So let's see what happens here with Baca.
Just the second walk all year for Lowry, who once again last year only walked 3 in 43 innings of work during the season. A rare walk for her. Pitch to Baca. Pulls it towards first, and it's handled by Emmerling. So the Aggie threat is over with as they leave runners on the corners. The Aggies don't score for the first time in a frame here today. They trail by 6 as we go to the 5th here from the NM State Softball Complex. Sold out crowd on hand here at the NM State Softball Complex. 12 runs are 9 hits, no errors, 5 left on for the 4th-ranked Sooners. 6 runs, 8 hits, a couple of home runs for Kendall Lunar. No errors and 5 left on for NM State. First pitch to Wells is guided out to left field, and this is a home run as it barely scrapes over the fence. Hit off the batting cage behind the fence. Barely got over, on a home run for Kendall Wells, her second in the 2 games today.
Well, Kalina throwing the pitch outside. What's impressive is Wells is able to go down outside and pull this ball. Look at that power. Yep. A little bit too much of the plate right there, Adam, and that's able to get it over. So it seems like anybody in this lineup is actually capable of just hitting with power.
2 home runs in this game for the Sooners after they belted 7 in the first game against Montana. So 9 home runs in the 2 games today, 24 home runs now in 6 games for OU. They blasted 121 a year ago. 100 of those 121 are back this year, coming from returners.
Wow.
A laser hit out to right field off the bat of Garcia, chested down by Elam. And Gabby Garcia is now a triple shy of a cycle.
Yeah, I thought Bella was able to track that one down. It looked like it was just past her glove, but that would have been a great defensive play. But, you know, no outs, runner at first. You got to find a way to get an out here. Build some momentum up and help your pitcher. But you mentioned with how many people are returning. One of their people say that they only had 2 transfers, both pitchers.
And they're both pitchers, and they're SEC
yes.
transfers
right.
within their conference, yeah.
So to keep that continuity not only on the defensive side, but in your batting lineup, and to be under the coaching, you know, of multiple years of the same coach, it just all comes together. And you could tell that this team really knows each other good. They're able to rely on each other, and it pretty much they know what's going to happen.
Sydney Berzon and Miley Wachenio. Wachenio threw earlier today. Those are those 2 SEC transfer pitchers for OU. As Abby Dayton tries to bunt it, and she misses it. She's a transfer from Utah. Ran earlier for Ella Parker and stayed in. 2024 Pac-12 batting champ while playing for the Utes out of Riverside, California. Hit a huge home run in the Women's College World Series last year for OU, and she is hit by that pitch. 2 runners on after the home run for Wells, and a nice start to the 5th against Lemos, who for a while there, Brian, I was about to say that she had really started to stabilize things in the circle for the Aggie pitching staff.
Yep, and she's just going to have to bounce back. You have to have a short memory. You'll have to go after it. I think that's a good job of pitching inside. I don't know, that barely clipped her on that.
Dayton sold it well. Emmerling pops it short left field. Racing in is Baca, and she makes a spectacular catch. Great play by Baca. First out here in the 5th.
Well, Baca is the new left fielder for this year, and you got to get used to new fielders, but outfielders, I should say. And she does a great job of coming in, and you have McKenzie just back off at the last second, and Baca's able to slide up and make sure she catches it. That's a great out.
I think the communication was better than what we saw earlier when Carranza went out, and Baca almost collided with Carranza. There was certainly communication there because you could see Jones trying to get out of the way.
Well, and that's a huge out because that was against Emmerling, right? And she had, 3 home runs the game before.
Yep.
And base hit and all that stuff here. So that's a big out for the Aggies. Get something in the ground, turn a double play.
Big game for Agbayani. She's been aboard all 3 times. 2 runners on, only 1 out in the 5th. Agbayani strokes it out to deep right, and this one is gone. Line drive home run for Ailana Agbayani. 16-6 Sooners.
That ball got out quick there, just a little bit too much of the plate for what Kalina ended up throwing, and with the 4th team in the nation, they're gonna make you pay for that. And she's able to get it out right over the fence, probably about a foot. Nothing you can do about that.
Second of the season for Agbayani. And the Sooners fly ahead by 10 runs. 2 home runs in this inning. And now it's Alyssa Parker. Well, this is a great experience for Lemos. It's a great experience for all these Aggie players as you get a look at what a top 5 team around the country looks like and a potential national champion contender.
Well, as a coach, if I'm Coach Higgs, I'm looking at how Kalina responds to that. You want her to come back. This is a growing moment, and there's nothing wrong with coming back and challenging the batter. And trying to get a ground ball, but that's one thing. I haven't seen that many ground balls hit. They've all been line shots to the outfield and something, along that line. So I don't know if we need to throw the ball a little bit lower to try to create that, more drops, lower in the zone.
Parker gets out of the way, 2-1. We were talking earlier about all the offensive, high-level players back for the Sooners. They have 87% of their hits back from last season. And this is a team that last year, once again, they won 52 games. They went to the Women's College World Series again. High fly ball left field. Strolling in is Baca. Not an easy play, and she makes the catch for out number 2.
Very hard catch on that. Tracking that was an extremely high-hit ball, and it looks like it's going to be way in left field, but she's having to come all the way in and almost catches that right at the lip of the grass. But, Adam, all those returning players, I mean, I think that's key with the portal today and players transferring left and right, but you're able to keep the majority of your players. 87% is key.
Kai Minor, the number 9 batter. First pitch strike on the inside corner from Lemos. Sooners ranked 4th in the country right now. They were preseason ranked 3rd. Right now they're behind Texas Tech, Texas, and Tennessee. Go figure. The SEC looks pretty good again. Sooners picked 2nd in the SEC preseason poll behind Texas, the defending champs. Will likely come down to one of those 3 programs this year, either Texas, Tennessee, or OU in the SEC. Sooners were the SEC champs a year ago in year 1 in that conference. It is still a little weird to say Oklahoma in the SEC. I'm used to Oklahoma in the Big 12. 3-1 on Minor.
Well, you go into the tournament, you end up beating up on each other, and then you usually end up meeting in the tournament as well after that. And I mean, it makes for some amazing high-velocity games that are, definitely must-watch TV.
Walk to Minor. That'll flip the lineup for the Sooners. Back to the top for Malloy. 16-6 Oklahoma. Sooners jumped out to a 4-0 first inning lead. The Aggies scored twice in the home half to pull within 2, then got within 1 in the second. Sooners broke it open during the third with 8 runs. The Aggies scored 3 in the third and now 4 runs in the fifth for OU. And Malloy was right on it as she fouls it back to the netting.
Yeah, you can always tell when it fell directly back at him. You just missed it. It's not going left or right, but you're right on tracking for that. And I would want to mix it up if I'm a pitcher. Try to keep it low. Give me a changeup in the dirt. See if she'll chase.
Malloy hits it in the air. Left field hits it well. Over Baca's head and over the fence. Home run for Tia Malloy. The 4th OU home run. And the Sooners lead by a dozen.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's the middle of the lineup, end of the lineup, or the top of the lineup. You have a leadoff hitter that has power, and she's able to go with that. But got to give some credit to Baca. She was right on it, tracking it down just like an outfielder. One more step, I think she would have caught it. But good job by Malloy going to the opposite field.
First of the season for Malloy, who hit 5 a year ago as a freshman.
Yep, Sooners having fun right now.
Paige Bachman will come out. Pitching coach will talk to Lemos. This is one of those situations here, Brian, where the Aggies will not go to another pitcher because you have another game today.
Right.
You're facing a run rule right now. You're down 10, or down a dozen. So you're facing a run rule right now, and you still have one more left to play in a little bit over an hour against Montana.
Well, you really don't want to look ahead, but you kind of have to in this situation. I'm sure Bachman went out there and said, okay, kid, don't worry about it. Short memory. Just forget about it. We're focusing on this batter. What can we do? Jump ahead in the account. Don't get too much of the zone and go from here. You just have to look at those small little victories right now.
McEnroe Marinas facing Lemos again. First pitch low and in. That first pitch time scheduled for 4 o'clock when the Aggies play Montana. Of course, it depends on the result of this one when this one finishes up. Slapped out of play. Montana will be 3-3 They lost 17-0 earlier today, but they had a really good weekend last weekend in San Diego. We'll talk a lot during the course of that game about the connections because there is a big one. Montana head coach Steph Ewing is a former Aggie assistant. Line drive hit out to left, and that will touch down in front of Baca. First hit today for Nelly McEnroe Marinas, and she has hit the ball hard enough to earn a hit because she's been close, but gets one to drop in finally.
Well, that's what it means about just keep plugging away. You're eventually going to get it. But you talk about Coach Ewing. It's great to see her back here at in Aggie land and out on the field at third base. And great individual, and we've always enjoyed her time here. And everywhere she goes, it always seems like she brings her team back.
Pitch up and away to Wells, the catcher. Montana only had 8 wins all of last season. They already have 3 this year. Got those 3 wins last weekend.
Yep.
There's still folks trying to just get a peek. If you can't get in the ballpark, we're going to try to peek through the fence just to see what it looks like with Oklahoma in town. Folks will be up bright and early tomorrow when the Sooners play Minnesota. And then OU will play Idaho State at noon tomorrow and then head to El Paso for their action on Sunday. The premier program over the last 5 years in collegiate softball. Humpback liner to second. Clapp waits back and makes the catch. Long inning comes to a close. It's another home run-filled inning for the Sooners. Home runs from Wells, Agbayani, and Malloy. Sooners lead by 12, middle of 5 for the NM State softball complex. You're watching Conference USA Softball on ESPN Plus with Brian Cox, Adam Young with you. 9 games coming up here this weekend at the Troy Cox Classic. Aggies hosting for a second straight weekend. 12-game homestand to start the year for the Aggies before they finally head on the road. Sooners were in Arizona last weekend. They played ASU first and then traveled to Tucson to play a series against the Wildcats. Now back out west here this weekend as well, and it's great to have the Sooners here in town. The crowds have been fantastic. The weather a little bit up and down, but that doesn't matter. The fans don't mind that. They just want to watch Oklahoma in action, the 4th-ranked team around the country that has won 4 of the previous 5 national titles. First pitch from Lowry misses to Carranza, who struck out in the first and was hit by a Lowry pitch 2 innings ago. Aggies need 5 runs to extend the game. They trail by a dozen. The run rule is 8 runs after 5 innings.
Well, looking at the scoreboard, I see some positives up there, Adam. We got two innings with zeros up there. Aggie pitching and defense held the Sooners to nothing and a 0 on the airs. So the defense so far has gotten unscathed, and they've done a good job there. And then plus the Aggies have, scored almost every inning. So that's a plus. So if you're Coach Higgs, you're able to bring a lot of positive out of this game.
On the flip side, the Sooners, have they been as good as advertised in your eyes?
They have, and obviously, in some retrospect, we're not facing the best of the best that are on there right now. But, you are facing players that are that are extremely good, and it shows. And, 16 runs.
Yeah.
It's just the power, and I think it's different when you get put in certain situations if you're going to see more bunting and stealing and whatnot, and they haven't had to play that yet.
Big day for Lunar. The Aggie catcher is 2 for 2 with 2 home runs. Solo shot in the second. That pulled the Aggies within a single run, and then a 3-run blast in the third that pulled the Aggies within 6 at the time. I go back to that international experience, Brian, for Kendall Lunar, right? You play for the Venezuelan national team during the summer and the fall. You see arms like this, like Lowry, on the international stage.
You're seeing arms you've never seen before, and that's the key. That kind of gets you out of your comfort zone is seeing, just stuff that you've never seen before. You're playing competitive ball pretty much year-round. You would see that happen with a lot of the New Zealanders that would play during our winter, which is their summer, and then they would come over during their winter and hit that here. So you also have that with baseball, a lot of the wood bat leagues.
Yep.
So the more you play, the definitely, the more you can gain. And I would I would think Lunar would definitely move up in the lineup. I would think the next game, maybe if you're mixing it up, you kind of have to. Maybe get that one extra at bat out of her.
1-2 is a hard bouncer to second. The Gold Glover Agbayani backs up and throws out Lunar. Aggies down to their final out now here in the home half of the fifth. Yeah, I was thinking that earlier too, Brian, and it's not like Lunar is a freshman who's getting hot right now, and you're trying to figure out, should we bump her up, and would she still feel comfortable batting 4th or 5th or 6th? Lunar's been in that spot before, so I would be very surprised if the Aggies didn't bump her up later on today against Montana. Liner hit out to left over the glove of McEnroe Marinas. A base hit the other way for Bella Clapp, and she's aboard for the first time in the game.
It looked like Lowry was just trying to power Clapp on that because, she hasn't got on base the 2 times before that, but Bella's doing a great job, recognizes swings, being aggressive. So good job for Bella.
Violet Redondo, the scheduled batter, but the Aggies will pinch hit, and Sky Johnson will hit. She has some pop. Aggies chasing down some runs here, down a dozen. Need 5 runs to extend it. Johnson, a sophomore out of Riverside, California. Good cut on the first pitch from Lowry, who's in line for the win for the Sooners.
Yeah, we think with this much cushion that Lowry's going to be definitely putting balls around the plate to try to end this quickly. So I think it would be good to be aggressive for Johnson to look for that pitch and go after it.
Johnson 5 for 11 to start the year. That's a double and a run batted in. Still looking for a first home run. Last year, .321, only had 28 at-bats during her freshman year. Right to Agbayani again. She receives and throws out Johnson, and that's the game ender as the Sooners run rule both games today. 17-0 final against Montana. The Aggies challenged the 4th-ranked team around the country. It was 4-3 at one point, but the Sooners erupted for a couple of big innings. They scored 8 runs in the 3rd and 6 runs in the 5th. Went scoreless in the 2nd and the 4th. And the Aggie bats started to go silent down the stretch against Lowry, who figured things out in the circle, and 18-6 is our final score here in game 1 of 2. And now the Aggies prep for Montana coming up in an hour.
Yeah, the Aggies are going to be able to stay warm a little bit and be able to go, and Montana had to set off of a game, so we'll see how that works. But, Adam, playing against the top players 1 through 9 in the lineup, it's a matter of fact they're just going to grind it out. They ended up scoring 16. But, like I said, there's a lot of positive stuff for the Aggies to look at and get some really good takeaways.
4 home runs for the Sooners in the game. They hit 3 of those in the 5th, and the Aggies got a multi-home run game from Kendall Lunar. Sooners improved to 5-1. The Aggies now 3-4, and they're going to play Montana for the Big Sky Conference coming up in 1 hour at 4 p.m. That'll do it for us for this broadcast. We appreciate our entire crew, led by our director, Vinny Conway, Rito Rodriguez, our producer, Valachelus Pastrana, our engineer, Jared Woods, Anthony Casales, our stats, my partner, Brian Cox. Adam Young saying so long for the NM State Softball Complex for just a little while. We're back with you in 1 hour at 4 p.m. as the Aggies host Montana for the 2nd game here today for both programs. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and also archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. We say so long for just a little while from the NM State Softball Complex.